Bonjour, Kinamagi and Ireland Indigenikas, and welcome to this production of 5th grade technology. Today's episode from 21 Things for Students, Basics, Quest 7. So using your Google Classroom post, you will click a link that'll bring you here in our section about email. First thing you should always do is go down and get to the student checklist. You're going to make a copy. So you click make a copy. You put your name. So this would be like Mike. Copy of Basics Quest 7, or you can just add Mike to what was there, and you click OK. And I already happen to have one open here. That's why I didn't. At the end, you share it, and you would put in, start typing in mireland@sagchipschool.net and click send. And I've already shared it with me, and in fact, it dinged right there. I add my name. You'll see some things that you should be able to do by the end of this lesson, like listing the basic components of an email, apply basic email etiquette and safety, compose an email message, open, read, and reply to an email message, forward an email message, and add an attachment to an email message. We will fill this in as we go step by step. It's not super long. And the first thing we're going to do is read the introduction. What is an email? Do you know the appropriate way to compose and respond to online communications? This is an introduction to email. This quest takes you to some short online tutorials that will show you the basics of sending an email and provide some helpful hints or tips. I can statements. I can list the basic components of an email. I can apply basic email etiquette and safety. I can compose an email message. I can open, read, and reply to an email message. I can forward an email message, and I can add an attachment to an email message. Some of you may already be able to do that. And now that I've just gone through the key vocabulary, I can go through and say I've read the introduction, mark that off, open the vocabulary list and review the terms. So there's a document file you can click. So some terms here, there's a lot of them. Inbox, that's where you view your emails. It's not physically a box, but this is where it comes, kind of from the idea of a mailbox where your messages will be in. A message pane, when you select an email in the inbox, it will open in the message pane. So if you click on a email on your left, it'll open on the right. Compose pane is where you which might be a pop-up depending on your network, can write an email to a recipient. Drafts are messages that you compose but do not send. Recipients, that's who you're messaging and sending emails to. The subject is a description of what the email is about. You should have a subject. The subject might be as simple as question. It could be a little more detailed, but don't make them super long because in all honesty, keep the details in the email itself. Signatures, some of you might do this. It might have basic information that by just clicking on it in your email server, it's there. You don't have to keep typing it. Trash, that's what you do when you delete it. Some networks like to use recycling. Spam is emails that can often carry viruses or scams. A lot of times they might even be advertising. You don't always want to read these. As much as some prince from a far off land wanting to send me a lot of money, chances are if it's too good to be true, it probably is. Be careful with these. If you know that if you don't know who it's from and it has an attachment, don't open the attachment unless you know who it's from. And even then, you got to be a little wary of it. Phishing is a type of email pretending to be from a bank or trusted source in order to steal your personal information. So it might be, let's use me as an example. Dear student, I need your social security number. Guess what? I will never ask you for your social security number, ever. And if anyone else does, don't give it to them. There are ways to know that you're sending secure information. Email is probably not it. Folders, you can organize your email into folders. So maybe you have your teacher email, family email, whatever. Reply is the command to write a response to an email. Reply all is if you want to send the message to everyone in the original email. This should only be in a situation where maybe you're dividing up work and you say, I'll do part 2, where everyone needs to see it. Generally, your replies should be replies. We joke around about this as older people. Reply all is not your friend. So if I wanted to email little Susie and say, you know what, I'm complaining about blah, 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 and I do it reply all, it goes to everybody. Not cool. And forward, and I do this all the time. If I get an email on one account and I want to save it, I might forward it to my other account that has more storage. You could forward an email, like if you emailed me and I wanted to send it to Miss Spickerman, I could do that. All right, so now let's check if we review the terms. And you can mark these off because you've done these with me. Use the Quizlet Key Vocabulary Study Guide and took the Quizlet. Let's go ahead and do that. Vocabulary game, I make it bigger. Let's make it disappear. Spam. Emails that often carry viruses. Recipient. Person or people you are sending the email to. Phishing. Email pretending to be from a bank or whatever. Inbox, where you view the messages. Reply, send a message back to the sender. And signature at the bottom of the email. 25 seconds. I bet you can beat that. Feel free to actually try that. And then keep going. So click on their email 101 outline and select the introduction to email. So this is one of those examples. So it'll send you somewhere. And then read this. It'll kind of give you some knowledge there. Continue to the next section. So common email features. And to get back to the main page, I can hit back. And then I can click there and read that as well. The goal out of this lesson is you should be able to send an email professionally, even though you're 5th graders, because guess what? You can. Some of you are probably already comfortable with sending emails. I know some of you will email me, and this will give you an opportunity to be able to email other people outside of people you're familiar with and look very mature and professional doing such. You'll go through all of these steps. There's an extension. I'm trying to find tutorials that are specific to Gmail. So let's see what that link will look like. And you can, so there's a quiz if you want to try it. I encourage you to try it. Won't hurt anything. And then when you're done, you'll make sure you've checked all of these things off as you do them. Check this off by 20. You don't really have to worry about the roadmap. You can click X. And because you've already shared it, I'll be able to see what you've done. These lessons are not under the category of mandatory, but they are very helpful in preparing you for next school year. This is the program that is used at least in Mount Pleasant Public Schools. And the further along you are, the more successful you will be next year because you'll already have a strong foundation. Whereas some of your new 6th grade peers might not be getting to this material because of the pandemic. You'll have an advantage. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. And yes, you are welcome to go further ahead than what we're doing. Just make sure you follow those same steps about the checklist, share it with me. So even if you're doing something at the very end because it's interesting to you, share it with me. That way I can mark off, yes, you did it. I can review, I can provide assistance. It's kind of the job description. Hope you all have a Minno Gizigat. Minwa Bama.